Hello everyone, I am back in business. Hopefully this is coming through okay. I'm using this new YouTube live streaming sort of desktop, or they're like, you know, the place where you live stream from, and it seems okay, but the thing is, the live chat part of it is like, I don't know if that's working properly, but we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, now what I'm planning on doing today is painting this. So I'm just going to move that over into here. But before I get into that, I'm just going to get it into this frame here. And if you can hear a tiny little yappy dog behind me, our neighbour's dog is sat at a window that's like wide open and it just won't shut the hell up. So it's like the first stream back and you might hear it in the background. It's like I want to go out there and just like shut the window, but I don't know. I don't even think my neighbours are there, but I don't want to like, you know, fiddle with their property. That wouldn't be right. But yeah, anyway, no, I'm back. You know, I've been away. A lot has happened actually. 2020 has been a crazy year for everyone. But for myself, I've recently become a dad. So that's been really interesting, and it's been the greatest time of my life over the last like month and a bit, looking after this tiny little baby, and it's just been absolutely incredible. But obviously, you know, my work on YouTube and Dino-Defenders has taken a hit because my priorities have completely shifted. However, we've gotten used to it. Me and my wife have gotten used to, you know, life with a baby. Not obviously, we'll never be used to it because that's the magic of children, is they're always changing forever, even when they get older. Or so I've been told. And so let me just make sure something. Yeah. And so yeah, but we've gotten used to like the kind of how to look after a baby for the most part, and then I had a discussion with Emma, and I was like, you know what, I think I need to set aside a time, like 3 hours a week, to sit down and do these live streams for Dino-Defenders, do some painting, so I can get some, you know, sort of routine down. So this is the first one, and obviously we'll see how we go because babies are unpredictable and that. So I'm going to say every single Tuesday at around midday. I know it's 10 to 12 now, but every Tuesday around midday, I'll live stream for 3 hours painting Dino-Defenders. So you can mark that in your calendar for those of you who are watching. And I might be watching this on playback once it's uploaded to the channel. But yeah, every Tuesday around midday UK time, I'll be live streaming painting Dino-Defenders, and we can, you know, get some of this episode done, because episode 3 left off with a bit of a bang. And actually, you know what? I need to copy this background. And so yeah, I'm not going to beat around the bush or anything. Like, episode 4 is going to take a while to come out because I am now juggling a lot in my life. So, you know, and I just wanted to briefly talk about that, like just to go over like my schedule, just to give you guys some context into what's going on behind the scenes of the Pterodome 3000 channel. So, obviously I've had a child. So that's priority number 1 is looking after the baby, and priority number 2 is looking after my wife, or both of them simultaneously. But priority number 1 is looking after the baby and making sure she's all okay and cared for and happy and all that sort of stuff, and getting enough sleep and food and all that sort of stuff. But I'm also, you know, I took up a job. I had a job outside of all this, like, you know. Working at this this building, and you know, that I was doing a couple of days a week, part time, just, you know, and that paid the mortgage, that paid the bills and all that sort of stuff. So that's good. But during lockdown, before the baby was here, I actually ended up taking up another job because I realised, you know what, I need to, we've got a baby on the way and my wife's on maternity leave and we need some more income. So I took up a second job. And would you believe the only job that you could get during lockdown, because everyone was being furloughed and sent home from work and whatnot, the only job I could get was picking for home shopping at a supermarket, which I'm still doing, which I actually really like because it's at night. So I've been doing that since around, was it April time? Since April I've been doing that, and that's 3 a.m. till 8 a.m. in the mornings. Not every day, that's just a few days a week. I was there actually last night, and so that kind of threw a pebble in my shoe of my schedule. But it's basically, for me, throughout this whole COVID situation, life's gotten way more busier. It hasn't changed. Well, it's changed, but it hasn't changed all very much. I'm not feeling the effects of not doing something, but I've gotten very busy. So during this, I've been working at this supermarket, and then my other job furloughed me, and I didn't work there for a long time during lockdown. And then when my other job opened back up, which was at the beginning of September. Sorry, tell a lie. Beginning of August, I cut my hours down at the supermarket. I'm still there now, but I also cut my hours down. I cut my hours down at the supermarket, but I also am still working at at my other job, which I've gone back to now, and that's gone back to pretty much normal for the most part. I mean, it's still, no one's really coming into the building that often and stuff, so it's still quite lonely there, but things can, I'm back to work essentially. So I've got two jobs essentially is what I'm saying, which I have to balance on top of. So those jobs I do Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday 3 a.m. till 8 a.m. and then one job I do Friday all day, like during the day, and then the other job I do again at 8 a.m. till 12 midday, and then I go back to my other job on Sundays where I work all day. So the only day I ever get off a week is Thursday, but because I work 3 a.m. till 8 a.m. at the supermarket, that means I do get the days free, and that's where I can help my wife look after the baby. She can have a break, she can have a sleep if she wants, all that sort of stuff. Thursdays I'm about all day, so we have a day together. And then I have the evenings, Friday, and the afternoons on Saturday, and then Sundays it's not. But when I get home from work on Sundays, I go straight from that, where I finish at around 5-6 o'clock, and I go straight home and I go straight to bed because I have to be up at 2 a.m. to get ready for my job that starts at 3 a.m. at the supermarket. So basically I'm very busy, and it's where do I fit Dino-Defenders into all this? And so that's why I spoke to my wife and was like, I need, because I'm and I have been working on it, don't worry, I have been working on Dino-Defenders when I can, during lockdown and during this whole COVID situation. I have been managing to get some work in, and for those of you who are part of my Patreon, you'll know that I posted an update about how I was managing to do some painting while I've got the baby asleep on me. I've got this sling thing that the baby sleeps in, and I can actually do some work there. So I've managed to get a bit done, but the process of Dino-Defenders painting has rapidly, well, this could be a bit of an oxymoron, but rapidly slowed down. So that's why I'm actually, you know what, having 3 hours set a week is actually good, because that was not too far off how I was doing before. But if I do it as live streams, I can still get other stuff out of the way as well. We can chat other stuff, and I started these Jurassic misconception videos just before the baby arrived, And obviously since then I haven't been able to do the next ones. So I figured I could probably cover some of the subjects that I was going to do in those Jurassic misconception videos in these live streams, and then clip them and upload them as the Jurassic misconception videos, so you don't have to sit through hours of live streams to get that information. So we'll see how we go there. But just to give some more context, obviously, as some of you might know out there, you know, we're scheduled to work on Jurassic World Dominion, and that's looming. Obviously, COVID threw a spanner in the works for that. I'll work on that. So that's a looming amount of work that's on the horizon that I obviously will have to fit into my schedule somehow. That'll probably be towards the end of the year, I can imagine. But yeah, so there's that, and then obviously social life with the family has been going on because they've wanted to see the baby and you know, and all this sort of stuff. So basically, I'm just trying to say I've been very, very busy, and so it should come to no surprise that I'm you know, you haven't seen many videos on this channel, because obviously during the early days of lockdown I was furloughed from one job, and my other job I was working at nights, so during the day I could get some bits done. So that's when I was doing the, you know, Treasure Planet live streams, and doing painting live streams and all that sort of stuff. So, and I could get episode 3 done. That was when episode 3 was being worked on a lot. Now, keep in mind, episode 3 was, you know, that was a very complicated episode to wrap my head around, and to do all the animation and everything I wanted to do for that episode. But episode 4 is going to be even worse than that. So, and it has been so far. I'm a few frames into episode 4, and hopefully this will work out doing these scheduled live streams each week. So that means you guys can keep up with where I am, and you know, if you turn up to the live streams and whatnot, you can ask me questions and chat and all that sort of stuff. See, this is what I mean. I don't know if this is this working. Let's have a look. Let's have a little looky see. Just want to see something on here. This is muted, yeah. Ah, I can see now. There's loads of people in the chat, and I didn't see it. It's not coming up on the dashboard. So sorry, everyone. But here we go. Michael Pierce says, "Woo, welcome back. Sounds all good." Titan of Serpents, hey Jack. Epic. Oh my word, that's an E-picking Edward Water lettuce, says Dinosaur. Michael Pierce says, "Do we have the same neighbours? Woke up to a yappy dog today too." What's the kid's name? I don't know if I want to reveal, you know, too much about my child stuff online. You know, too many people post their children online, and I don't know. I wanted to have a private life. Trike7117 says, "Hey, been a while." Yeah, been really busy. Definitely describes this whole situation. The Acro34 says, "I've just returned from school." It's good timing. He has a hatchling. Yes, I do. Oscar Stone says, "Hello, Jack. Nice to see you back. Unfortunately, I can't stay. I have to return to work in a minute, but glad to see you're okay and back on Dino-Defenders." Yes. Why did the chat... See, this new YouTube live dashboard is crap. Oh, I can do the pop-out chat. That works. Oh, God. What a palaver. Why does YouTube have to keep changing their bloody design? Like, why can't they just leave it alone? It worked fine before. It was simple. It didn't get in the way or anything. YouTube is weird. Yeah. Trike7117 says, "Yeah, I don't know why the chat kind of died either." Yeah. Well, the thing, yeah, it's like on their dashboard thing where you can like manage your live stream. It's like it says live chat, and it's got like, you know, the place where all the chat will come up, and nothing's coming up. Like, it's just blank. So I have to do the pop-up window to actually see what you guys are saying. It's bloody annoying. Been going through many changes in my life too with everything. I hope you stay safe and sane. One day at a time. It's easy to get overwhelmed, says Michael Pierce. Yes, I mean, I don't want to get like too into the personal stuff that's happened at the family, but you know, we had a death in the family 2 weeks before my daughter was born. Very close member of family, so that was a bit of a shock. Nothing to do with COVID, but it was kind of it wasn't meant to happen, let's just put it that way. So it was a surprise. It was like an accident that happened, and you know, so we're all very upset about that. And then, you know, we have this beautiful baby daughter come into the world and change everything. And then 2 weeks after, was it 2 weeks after? I can't remember now. But my old lizard died, who was 26, 27 years old. You know, just died. So I've had a bit of a crazy few months, but things are looking up. We've got this beautiful baby daughter, and yeah, it's all looking good. Thank you, everyone. The condolences. Either way, we're here to support you and enjoy your content. You're here. Yes, Lizzie. Rest in peace, Lizzie. F's in the chat for Lizzie. But it was kind of poetic. It was like, you know, my lizard who I'd had since I was 4 or 5 years old passed away, and now I've got my daughter. It's like, it's such a weird, surreal feeling. It was like, oh, this lizard that's been this constant in my life. Or it was like, not to be too poetic or wishy-washy, it was like the baton, and Lizzie passed the baton on to our daughter. Michael Pierce says, I had no idea lizards live that long. Is that common? That's amazing. Well, funny story about that. I thought Lizzie was a girl because, you know, when I got her when I was little, you get like My First Leopard Gecko book, and then you look at the genitals and you know, you diagnose what you think they are. I diagnosed Lizzie when I was a kid, and if you ever look at a picture of a side by side of the genitals of a leopard gecko, male and female, they're so similar. And obviously we'd been calling Lizzie a girl, and then the first ever time she goes to the vets, you know, just days before she dies, I find out she's a he. And this whole time my lizard was actually a boy. And we, you know, during that, it was sad, but one of the, you know, the time when she died, but one of the things that made me laugh was my mum pointed out that she was like, isn't it funny that you wanted the lizard because you'd watched Jurassic Park when you were a kid and you wanted to own a living dinosaur, and in the story of Jurassic Park the dinosaurs changed from female to male in a single sex environment. And Lizzie was the only lizard I owned. She was in a single-sex environment, so I was like, well, maybe she did. Maybe she changed. Maybe she was female to begin with. Yo, Lewis. Hello, Jack. Good to see you're back to painting. Yes, painting this awesome, the crashed platform. It's smashed on the ground, the tree's knocked over. Picking Edward Waterletter says, if your life changed, that means you at least had one. That's a beautiful sentiment. Thank you for that. I'm up on time, says Il. Yeah, hello. Actually, not long before my grandma's cat passed away, we found out she was a boy, says typing the servers. Yeah. And it was funny because everyone kept calling Lizzie a she still, and I instantly changed it to he. And everyone was going, oh yeah, well, it was hard. Right at first it was hard. But I actually, in the few days that I spent with him, you know, I got used to calling her a he. And it's funny because whenever I tell that story, I always keep to saying she or her at the beginning, because I want to lead people into the false sense of security, and then go blam, actually a boy, and then change the old pronouns. But yeah, if you ever do, look up a picture of leopard gecko male and female genitals side by side. It's like very, very subtle differences. Trike says, I'm doing homework while watching. Well, I hope you're concentrating on your homework. And I hope they're teaching you good stuff. So yeah, as I was saying about this whole live stream thing. So yeah, every Tuesday at midday, I'll do 3 hours of live streaming, and 3 hours is the cap. So we've been going for nearly half an hour now already since I clicked live. Well, technically 20 minutes because I had a bit of a faff at the beginning trying to get the. I have ExpressVPN, and if that's running, you can't live stream. Or you the live stream quality is really bad. So I had to turn that off, and I called my friend Dave, who helps me with my technical stuff, and he's such a wizard with that. And he was like, "Your network's being drained by something." And I looked, and I was like, "Do you think it would be my VPN?" He was like, "Yes, turn it off." My God. So thank you, Dave, for helping me on that. But that's why you might have seen the live stream go up, but I didn't start it straight away. I had to restart it because I was like having some issues, and I believe that's what was the problem with the live streaming before. I just didn't realize. But yeah, so I will be strict and have to stop in 3 hours. So we're going to see how much we can get done. Michael Pierce asks, any personal tips you found along the way with getting through all this? Personal tips? Well, see, I was saying a minute ago, I've been working through this whole thing. And the rules, obviously, rules are different for each country. But in the UK, if you're working in a supermarket, which is the job I actually managed to get during lockdown, you know, everyone was losing their jobs and bloomin' getting furloughed and that. And I managed to get a job, and because it works nights, it pays well, or you know, you just listen to podcasts while picking people, you know, and it's for a good cause because it's like people who can't shop themselves, like old people, and you know, people with disabilities. So you know, it's for a noble thing. But I've actually been enjoying it because I get to, you know, have a break and just listen to podcasts and do that. But if I had to give some advice, I'd say just keep yourself busy. Like, learn some stuff. Like, listen to some audiobooks or read a book and just be creative in any way possible. I was painting our daughter's room. I've been doing all sorts. Full dad mode. Always curious about the different ways people approach the pandemic and other things going on. Yeah, as I just said, I've just been working for a lot of it and being patient. And like everyone else, I just want it to end. Like, I want to go back to normal. I want to go to a restaurant and not have to wear some stupid mask on the way in. But that's the good thing about, like I was saying, the rules in the UK is like, when you're working in a supermarket, you don't have to wear a mask. So it's like, I haven't really been adopting a mask at all, because I didn't have to. And I haven't been sick. I did get, because my wife was pregnant, I did get tested. I managed to get a test. I came back negative. And where I live is like there's no one passing through this city or anything. It's like it's at the end of the country, so it's like no one comes here. And I believe the last I heard, our last actual case was months ago. So we're all just being precautious now. But it kind of seems ridiculous if you look at the death rates and stuff. I don't know. But anyway, I can't talk too much about my opinions on COVID-19 and what they should do, because I've heard YouTube doesn't like that sort of stuff. Like if you start giving your opinion on what they should do, they're like, no, you've got to listen to the CDC or whatever. Titan of Serpent says, over the summer I watched Valley of Guanji and The Lost World 1925. I love them. Yeah, good films. That destroyed facility makes me excited to see the next episode, says Lewis. Mm-hmm. Wait, don't have to wear a mask, says that's not a good sign, says Lewis. Well, it's I don't really know why they did that, considering they have to make sure everyone who comes into the shop is wearing a mask. But I'm just like, well, you know, we got social distancing or whatever in the bloomin' shop. But I'll tell you this, it was interesting seeing, you know, at the beginning of lockdown, seeing the people right at the beginning, you know, like during the whole toilet roll fiasco when everyone was just like taking toilet roll or whatever, like seeing the people coming in at the beginning of lockdown was hilarious, because it'd be like 8 in the morning, the store would open and you would see people coming in wearing like gas masks. It was like bloomin' like some apocalypse movie. They're like wearing gas masks and bin bags. Like someone came in just wearing loads of bin bags and we're like, what the hell's that all about? Oh, cheers. Thanks for watching the commentary. Picking Edwards water letter says red pilled. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of just ridiculous. I'm not even going to go into it because I don't want YouTube to demonetize or take down this video. So I'm going to keep my opinions to myself about that. But I'll just say I just think it's kind of ridiculous now. I'll just say this, for the UK anyway, because obviously I can't talk about other countries. It might be different in other countries, but in the UK it's like it wasn't 5,000 days to slow the spread. It was 15 days or something to slow the spread. It's like, come on, we've slowed it. Let's get back to normal. Anyway, there you go. There's my thoughts on it. I could rant all day about it. In other news, I am excited about Camp Cretaceous. I'm excited to check that out, see what that's all about. Lewis, we won't go into what you sent me, but you sent me a clip from the series, and that's got me very excited. And I know Tom Jurassic from Jurassic Park Podcast and Jurassic Collectibles, he sent me a message because I knew he'd seen it, and he was like, dude, there's one part in Camp Cretaceous I think you're going to love. And obviously I already knew what it was, so we had a chat about that. Let me just see, what have I done with the other fences? That's what I want to know. I don't think I did any. No, I just did grey lines. Camp Cretaceous is a really interesting show. I contacted one of the art supervisor. You haven't watched it, have you, Lewis? Right, in full, or have you? It's funny because in terms of Jurassic content, Camp Cretaceous, I was saying this in this chat group I'm a part of. Camp Cretaceous is the first piece of Jurassic Park media outside of video games. Yeah, only video games really, and like, you know. But Camp Cretaceous is the first piece of Jurassic Park media that I have no idea what it's about. I have no idea what happens since Jurassic Park 3. Like, it has been that long for me. Because like Evolution of Claire I managed to read and give edit notes to the draft of that book. You know, me and Tim got the chance to do that. Jurassic World Evolution we knew about for a while. I know that's a video game, like I just said, outside video games, but we knew that was coming. Like, we knew the Jurassic Park DLC was coming for a long time. We even know about more stuff that, you know, is potentially on the horizon for that. You know, but we like edited. So like one of the things they did for Evolution, for one example, for the Jurassic Park DLC, like Universal called us up and said like, you know, are fans gonna worry that this is meant to be canon? And we were like, no, not really, because, you know, they didn't go back to the park, and Evolution's not canon because everyone can actually make their own park. So it's like, well, how do you say whose park's canon and what happened? It's kind of stupid. But we said, but what you could do is write, you know, the Jurassic Park DLC for Evolution like plays out a what if scenario. That's how we worded it in our email back to them. And then lo and behold, in the actual game, if you load up Jurassic World Evolution and then look at the little tiny description of what the Jurassic Park DLC is going to be about, it says exactly basically what we wrote. So we do little things like that every now and then. And obviously the films we all know about. But yeah, so Camp Cretaceous is the first time. We were never contacted about it. We knew about it, like we knew it was coming, but we had no idea what it involved or anything like that. So I'm really excited to watch it because it's the first bit of Jurassic Park media since 2001 where I'm back on the other side of the fence and I can chat about it like every other fan without worrying about breaking some NDA or something. Clayton says, "Hi Jack, season 2 of Camp Cretaceous I think just got confirmed to release before Dominion." Nice. Whereabouts was that announced? Time of Sepsis, and you kind of stated my thoughts on watching those dino movies that use actual reptiles. I recently watched one of those and it was hard for me to watch the fights. Yeah, it's just like what gets me about those is it's like, you know, it's like watching cockfighting. It's that sort of thing. Like, I'm all for watching animals tear into each other if it's like, you know, you're filming them out in the wild and they're doing what they're doing, you know, naturally or whatever, or as naturally as possible. But like watching someone take like a lizard with glued things on them, like I will obviously watch those old films, but they've always sat funny with me. Even as a kid, I was like, yeah, this doesn't feel right. Like, it feels wrong to see like a crocodile and a monitor lizard go at each other with like glued spikes on them. It feels kind of wrong. But then again, it's done and they're never going to do that sort of thing again. So it's like, it's kind of cool to watch that now, I guess. A Zach Stentz interview. Sweet. Hey Clayton, if you want to jump on Discord and chat Camp Cretaceous or something, I'm about for a couple of hours. Just throwing that fishing line out there. Clayton says, actually, Jack personally told me that he glued cardboard to a lizard for for Dino-Defenders Extreme. Excuse me. So he could mocap that animation later on. Yes, that was... I feel cruel. That was how Lizzie actually died. Oh, bless her. See, I can make jokes. I can make jokes. Oh dear. Yo, Derek, how are we doing? Oh, I haven't finished rubbing out this section here yet. He's doing good. And they called the iguana a T-Rex. Yeah. See, that's why I like, from the 70s, like films like The Land That Time Forgot, like where they use the puppets and stuff. And obviously stop motion's cool and amazing. But that was like mainly, aside from, I don't know, there was a few films, but Ray Harryhausen pretty much had the monopoly on dinosaur stop motion, didn't he? But outside of stop motion, it's like, what other effects were they using for dinosaurs? They had like big, clunky animatronics or people in suits. And I'm not talking just lizards here, but I'm just trying to think like outside of lizards as well. What was the other thing that they were using? And that's why I think like The Land That Time Forgot from 1977. No, 1970. Was it 1972? Oh heck, I can't even remember now. That's why I like that one, because it seemed really unique. Like I didn't see many puppets like that being used. Like almost Jim Henson type stuff. But I thought that worked really well. Like the plesiosaurs, when there's that one shot of them, like one bursts out of the water and bites like a tree branch or something. That almost looks pretty much real. And then you cut to like the pteranodon or that pterosaur that picks up the caveman and carries him off, and it doesn't flap its wings or move or do anything. Like, yo, James from Jurassic Unicast, he says, "Alright, ball bags. Hope you're all safe and well." All doing good, man. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today, in regards to Jurassic, is I actually wanted to cover one of the Jurassic misconception video that I was going to talk about next. And I did a poll on Instagram. The link to my Instagram is on my YouTube channel. If you go to that, onto my channel, and then go to the banner at the top, you'll see the link to my Instagram up there. I did a poll of what Jurassic misconception should I cover next, and the overwhelming majority went for the option that was the biggest plot hole in the Lost World that fans don't talk about, or something like that. So I wanted to cover that on today's live stream, and then what I'll do is I'll clip out that section of this live stream and then upload it as the misconception video, because I figured with these scheduled live streams and with the baby and juggling all life and all that sort of stuff, I figured actually I can kill two birds. Technically, actually kill 3 birds with 1 stone, which is I can work on Dino-Defenders, which is what I'm doing right here. I can talk about the Jurassic misconceptions, so I can cover that, and I can get frames. I can upload a live stream and chat to you guys, which people actually do like watching these back. I do get comments under them that say like people find them relaxing to watch back. So Clayton says, "Oh, I know what you're gonna say, dude. Do you want to jump on? Do you want to jump on Discord and have a chat with me about it? Do you want to join me in this conversation, or should I just rip this film a new one on my own?" The Eggman says, "What do you think dino eggs taste like?" Very hearty. I know hearty's not really a taste, but eggs. He can't get on. That's alright, man. Okay, so let's chat about this Jurassic misconception that is in the Lost World. So everyone who talks about the Lost World and like the things about that movie that are wrong, like from Joe Public, you know, to crappy Screen Rant videos to fans, they always talk about the one of the biggest things about the film that gets a lot of criticism is the San Diego incident and how that feels tacked on to the movie. And just to give some backstory and context to where I'm coming from here, on my old channel I made a video called the Lost World retrospective video, where I talked about my love of the Lost World and how much I love that movie, and I talked about how I'd never felt like the San Diego incident was tacked on, and I really didn't, and I never really got that critique. And it was only when I started talking to Clayton that he started to open my eyes to this thing. And then I was like, well, hang on, yeah, have I just been like sort of trying to justify this, even though it is kind of tacked on? And while I don't necessarily agree with Clayton, I think, and Clayton, tell me if I'm like straw manning your argument here. I'm trying to steel man it. Let's put it that way. You said the cut to the helicopter descending on San Diego when you cut from Ludlow is abrupt, and it's like there's no like time to really breathe between them, and that for you was one of the main reasons that it feels like it can be tacked on. And I don't know if you meant that it's for you, or that's how you feel like other people feel like it's tacked on or whatever. But anyway, the point is that I can start to see how the end of the Lost World, the San Diego incident, does feel quite, comes out of nowhere. And one of my old arguments for that, for me, when I'd say like it didn't feel like it was tacked on for me, was like the whole T-Rex parenting stuff that is built up almost from the beginning of the movie. And that's what Sarah Harding's talking about. She talks about how like Robert Burke has these theories and all that sort of stuff, and how like the T-Rex, she thinks the T-Rex is a caring parent, it won't abandon its young, and she wants to prove it and all that sort of stuff. And then obviously the whole San Diego incident at the end, they're using the baby T-Rex to lure the adult back to the boat. And and I always felt like that was a way of them closing off that story beat. So I was like, well, the San Diego incident for me never really felt tacked on. And then obviously when you learn about the making of the film, you learn that they had this whole different ending with the pteranodons in the village, and how Spielberg changed it halfway through production, so they had to move the climax of the movie to San Diego. And you're like, okay, well, now I'm starting to hear a little bit more how it feels like it's tacked on. But I still never felt like it was tacked on. And one of the things that really bugged me about people who did say that the San Diego incident felt like it was just glued on to the end of the film willy-nilly was the hand on the wheel. which obviously we never see that the T-Rex broke into the cabin to eat that guy. We just see his hand on the wheel, and there's been so many different speculations about how that could happen. Either it was raptors sneaking aboard the SS Ventura, which is a load of rubbish. I don't think there's any evidence to suggest that there was ever raptors on the SS Ventura during the making of The Lost World, as far as I know, unless it's like an old script or something. But then again, I don't think that ship existed in old scripts, so I don't really know about that one. But I think that's just some fans' justification for how that hand could be ripped off, and the room that it's in is completely untouched, aside from some broken windows. And I obviously made my video where I was like, hey, it's Nick Van Owen's hand, as a kind of like joke theory that kind of works, because you never know the captain's name in the film. You have to look that up to find out that the hand belonged to is it S. Thompson or something like that. But anyway, that's besides the point. To me, the hand is what a lot of people say is one of the biggest plot holes in The Lost World. They always bring it up, like that hand is the biggest plot hole in The Lost World. How did that person's hand get severed off even though the room is completely intact? And there's always like different headcanons for how it happens. But I don't think that is the biggest plot hole in The Lost World. And the thing I'm about to bring up is what made me really realise that, hang on a second, yeah, the end of The Lost World really is tacked on, and this is why it feels like it does. And I don't think anyone's actually managed to... I've never heard anyone say this outside of, myself and I believe Clayton and James when we were talking about The Lost World. But I've managed to sit on this a little bit longer and really think through this. And I feel like it's one of those things where it was happening in the background of the movie and no one really picked up on it. And you wouldn't pick up on it unless you really thought about it. But it's why people feel like the end of The Lost World feels tacked on. Okay, so here we go. I know that was like a bit of a big intro to this misconception, but yeah, and the misconception being that the hand on the wheel is the biggest plot hole in The Lost World. That's the misconception here. That's not the biggest plot hole. Here's the biggest plot hole, and this is going to get really complicated. So bear with me. And you kind of have to know The Lost World to really get what I'm talking about, because I'm not using any visual references here or anything. So, okay. So, Nick Van Owen goes to call for help for the InGen team from the village. Right. They have to go to the village to call for help because the trailers went over the cliff and their camp was destroyed by Nick Van Owen and Sarah. So they don't have any way of communicating with their boat, the SS Ventura, which is presumably off the coast somewhere. And Nick Van Owen equally doesn't know when he's going to the village to call for help that Roland Tembo has successfully tranked the T-Rex. He has no idea that's going on. As far as he's concerned, he took the bullets out of Roland's gun, which he even explains himself. He says, like, that's one souvenir they're not taking with them. So he believes he's successful in his mission in stopping Roland Tembo get a T-Rex. So he doesn't know they have a T-Rex. So he goes to the village, he calls for help, and that's all he does. He calls for help. We cut from him calling for help to Ludlow looking at the T-Rex asleep, and then we cut to the others arriving at the village, at the Malcolm, Sarah, and Kelly arriving at the village. Then we have the whole raptor attack sequence, and then when that ends, they get into the helicopter, they fly over. That's where Nick says that's one souvenir they're not taking with them. And he looks down out of the helicopter because Sarah goes, "My God," or whatever she says. They look down out of the helicopter, and on the floor, tranked and fully, fully in its cargo secure harness, is the T-Rex. Now, how did Ludlow, Tembo, how did anyone know to get that equipment to the T-Rex? That's the biggest plot hole in The Lost World. Because the timing... So, that would mean Nick would call for help. The help would come... But it wouldn't come to the village just yet, because obviously the helicopter hasn't come to the village to pick up Nick and the others just yet. That's on its way. But the helicopter would have gone from the SS Ventura to the others. And presumably they're not going to bring T-Rex equipment with them. Well, because they wouldn't know to, because why would they have T-Rex equipment unless just conveniently the helicopter that took off to come and rescue them, like let's say 2 helicopters took off from the SS Ventura, or maybe even bloomin' mainland Costa Rica, wherever these helicopters are coming from, right? One of them, we can say, for argument's sake, let's say conveniently one of them lifts off and they're like, we don't have time to unhook this T-Rex capture gear. Let's just take it with us. They appear at the thing, and they have the capture gear with them. They have to get the T-Rex in there and all this sort of stuff. In that time, the other helicopter arrives, picks up Nick, and then goes over with Nick, Malcolm, Kelly, and Sarah. And the T-Rex is already loaded up and all this sort of stuff. I just don't see how the time works in that. And I don't believe that they would have the T-Rex equipment. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, they'd have to fly to them, be told, oh, Roland Tembo's tranked the T-Rex, go back to the SS Ventura, pick up the equipment, bring it back, we're going to load it up. And then in that time, that's when Malcolm, Sarah, and Kelly are doing the whole raptor attack sequence, and then they get in the helicopter. It's so convoluted, and the timing of everything is completely off. Unless, and now I'm going to try and think through this, because this is like a... No, see, the Trike says in the chat, the equipment could have been meant for sauropods, explaining why the T-Rex broke out because it wasn't its proper cage. They were trying to get sauropods after all. No, because I would say the capture gear that the T-Rex is in is perfectly sized for the T-Rex. Like the filmmakers designed that to hold the T-Rex, so I'm assuming that is the T-Rex capture gear. Like the sauropod capture gear would be much bigger. Like it would be huge. It'd be absolutely massive and really long, and have something to secure a really long head. There's no evidence of that at all on this capture gear. It's definitely designed for the T-Rex. Now, I mean, it's just all over the place. Like, I don't quite understand how that all works. Now, I was just thinking in my head, well, what if the helicopter that picks up Nick, Sarah, Ian, and Kelly is from Costa Rica? So let's say, okay, Nick calls for help. He calls for help. That's... No, because who does he call? I need to... This whole scene is contrived, says Clayton, even with the raptor attack. Was Nick just staring at them fighting dinosaurs at the helipad? Yeah, I know. I didn't even get onto the fact that Nick must have just been watching them. Let me just bring up what he says. I just want to know what Nick Van Owen says. Let me just see. Sorry, I'm just trying to find this. He says, wait, this isn't. No, this is not the actual transcript. I don't want the script. I want the transcript. I want like what the actual movie says. transcript of the Lost World. Yeah, okay, so he says, he speaks, he says, CQ, CQ, this is Harvest Leader, so he's pretending to be an InGen person, to Harvest Base. So I'm assuming Harvest Base is the SS Ventura. Repeating, I'm calling InGen Operations Harvest Leader, seeking InGen Harvest Base. He says, go ahead, Harvest Leader. And then Nick says, yeah, the operation has suffered severe casualties and the survivors are in mortal danger. I need you to send rescue immediately. Our coordinates here are 9 degrees, 58 minutes north, 85 degrees, right? So let's just go through this. Nick gives some specific coordinates, yet the InGen team is scattered. They've run. They've left their campsite. They've gone. So he's obviously talking about the village. So if he's sending him rescue immediately, you would think the rescue would appear at the village first, not where the others are. And so for me, this whole moment in the film, which breezes by really quickly, is so messy and convoluted that it's the biggest plot hole in the film. How did InGen know to get the T-Rex stuff to the T-Rex and get it all ready and set up? And if they didn't accidentally or conveniently bring the T-Rex equipment with them to begin with, then that means they went there, talked to Ludlow, went, oh, okay, and Tembo, oh, we've got the T-Rex. We'll go back, get the equipment and come back. That's going to take time. Obviously, we see men coming down on ropes around the T-Rex that's already in its cage. So there's other helicopters there. You know, Ludlow says, what does he say? He says, Ludlow says, find the infant Tyrannosaur. Roland can show you where the nest is. I want it on my jet. I'll take it directly to the infirmary complex in San Diego and hurry it up. I'd love to be airborne before the female knows we're here. So they're going to look for the infant. So, like, there's so much happening in that scene that would take hours and hours and hours. So it's like, was Malcolm literally sitting on his ass because of his hurt leg, and Nick just sitting in the village waiting for about 5-6 hours before this kicked off? Like, then the sun would be coming up because it's nighttime. Like, this whole scene is just a mess. Like, it's absolute. Now, don't get me wrong, I love The Lost World. Like, it's a great, great movie. But I can see exactly why people say that the end feels tacked on. And I don't think they, from what I could tell, a lot of people who say that, I've never heard them quantify why exactly. And a lot of people just point to the hand on the wheel and just say that's why. And I don't even think that's necessarily a plot hole. It's like you could just say the T-Rex managed to rip him through the window or something. Like, we know the T-Rex ate him. That's the point. It's, you know, I guess it's kind of a little tiny plot hole, but this whole plot hole of how, you know, InGen managed to get to the T-Rex before the helicopter appeared, and Nick says the exact coordinates. To, like, where does Nick know where everyone is? They're all scattered. Like, did he just assume they all just went back? And what's funny is Nick scattered with them when the T-Rexes arrived at the camp, so I don't know. And Clayton says they have to run past all of that setup so they'll have time to do the San Diego hijinks. As kids, we didn't pick up on what was happening and why it was absurd, but this is partly why adults were upset. Yeah, exactly. And even then, like, with the adults, I've never heard an adult adequately point out why this is so contrived. And it's funny because the other thing, I remember how I was having a conversation not too long ago with someone about like, they were talking about how Fallen Kingdom has really stupid characters and how they don't, you know, Like they don't scan the lagoon for the mosasaur before going in with the submarine. And I was saying, yeah, I agree, that's stupid, but that's almost a staple of the series. And if you're surprised or upset by the fact that this series has characters that do stuff stupidly, then you really need to recognize what series you're watching here, because characters do that all the time. And the example I was giving from The Lost World to do with this whole scenario of the T-Rex capture is the whole reason they have to go to the village to begin with to make the call for help is because no one on that island has a phone communication to the boat outside of that, I guess, that one truck with the big satellite dish for whatever reason. You'd think someone would have like a walkie-talkie that could, reach the Ventura. That's like, how big is this island? But not only that, when they set up camp for Ludlow to make his speech to the InGen board members, with the whole model and how he's talking about the San Diego project, no one there calls the Ventura or anyone who can rescue him to give them their coordinates and say, if you don't hear from us, if communication's lost, we're gonna make communication with you every 10-15 minutes. We'll give you a message to let you know we're okay. Like, I don't know, like some sort of radio call with some sort of, I don't know, call sign to say that they're okay. They don't do that. They just get to work straight away trying to sell the idea to the board members. And I get that's stupid, but because they don't let the boat know or whoever know where they are straight away, and bear in mind they had changed their location. You got to remember, Roland told Ludlow to change their base camp location, and so you'd think they'd want to communicate with the people who could get them off the island, their location. But because they don't do that, they have to go through this whole rigmarole of walking across this dino-infested island, getting many people killed, all because they didn't call their base to be like, yeah, we're at these coordinates, if anything happens, we lose communication with you guys, send a rescue team to this coordinates, and if something happens, we'll do the best we can to stay in this area. There you go, done. That's all you need to say. But yeah, Titan of Serpent says, well, didn't they take the equipment because Roland intended to bring the whole buck back with him after he shot it? Yeah, but what I mean is, how did they know to bring the equipment to them at that point? Now, I'm willing to go with the idea that maybe the helicopter that just so happened to arrive to rescue them had the equipment with it. But at the same time, we're talking like that. The problem I have is that helicopter shouldn't arrive before the helicopter that Nick, Ian and Sarah were picked up from, because I swear Nick gives the coordinates for the village where he's making the call. So yeah, see you later, Derek. Hope you have a good day. I'm just going to go back through the chat. Clayton says, don't forget Roland Tembo's logic for not waiting at the lagoon because it's a heavily used water source. Yeah. You know what would have been easier? Would have been easier. Oh, I guess they couldn't stay because of the T-Rexes. But that's the thing. It's like the Lost. I mean, the Lost World is messy, like with its characters as well. Roland only bringing 2 bullets to the island is hilarious. I love that character, but bring more than 2 bullets. Maybe RJ had more bullets for him in his bag when he got dragged away by the others, but you'd think Roland would want more bullets on him other than 2 bullets. It's like ridiculous. And Sarah Harding, like, talking about not wanting to bend a blade of grass, and talking about the T-Rex's amazing scent, sense of smell, and then forgetting that the blood's on her. All that kind of stuff. Like, her character is... I like Sarah, but she's She's really badly put together. And then when you read the original script, it's like, oh my word, she's so good in that script. It's like heresy. But anyway, the point is, and I'll end the misconception section here for the clipped version. Yeah, so my contention is the biggest plot hole not talked about in The Lost World enough by fans or people who don't like The Lost World. It shouldn't be the hand on the wheel. That's insignificant. Absolutely insignificant. The thing that we should be talking about is how the hell Ludlow and everyone got that T-Rex equipment. Like, how did they get that? And how did they get it all set up in the time frame between Malcolm and everyone arriving at the village? And then getting rescued. Yo, Florence says hello there from your French fan. Well, bonjour. Welcome. Yeah, see you later, E-Ping Edward. Thanks for coming along. Okay, so I think I chatted enough. Yeah, Clayton points it out. Yeah, that's what the pilot says. When Nick gets picked up by... Nick, Sarah, Ian and Kelly all get picked up by the thing, he says, there's a... Malcolm says, what about the others? There must be more survivors. And the guy says, there's another chopper coming. So the chopper is on its way. But it came before? Because they've got the T-Rex loaded up. Like, oh, honestly, it's so messy. It's such a messy moment in the film. And fans will talk about how much they don't like Fallen Kingdom being too rushed and all this sort of stuff. But I'll say this, as far as I can tell, if we're going to compare the two, Fallen Kingdom makes sense. Like, it at least makes sense. It might feel rushed, but it makes a lot more sense than The Lost World. The Lost World tricks you. The Lost World's like, yeah, this is really cool. Look at this, look at this, look at this. But it's all smoke and mirrors. It's like, look at this, but don't think about it. As soon as you think about it, it's like a jumper. You start pulling at that thread, it's all gonna, come undone. And I think it's really disingenuous for people to say, oh, The Lost World is a really well written film and like these new ones aren't, when technically the new ones are they're way more solidly written than The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 ever will be. David says, do you like the Indiana Jones movies? Yes, and funny enough, me and my wife are currently working our way through the Indiana Jones films. We watched Raiders the other night, and we're going to watch Temple of Doom soon. We watched the making of all three movies yesterday, actually. We've been going through watching the making of movies. We watched the making of Back to the Future yesterday. We watched the making of Your Name. All sorts. Did I see a message from... Oh yeah, sorry, I just scrolled up the chat. Zahir says, sorry I'm late, I didn't see the stream at first. Anyway, Jack, how have things been lately? Busy. You'll have to rewatch the beginning of the stream to hear how busy it's been. Lewis said, one thing I want to say related to Lost World, I think the helicopter heading to San Diego wasn't the same helicopter Ian... No, it's not. It's a completely different helicopter. Ludlow's in that InGen helicopter descending on San Diego. Mr. Death Sniper 97 says, so when will Chapter 4 be out? I can't wait any longer. You're gonna have a long wait. It's gonna be a long while before it comes out. But every Tuesday at 12 o'clock UK time, you'll be able to watch me live stream. I'm gonna do my best to keep these weekly thing for you guys. The Trike says, actually no, Fallen Kingdom also has massive plot holes, like with how did the Mosasaur connected to the ocean? So obviously that is a plot hole if you take into account the map, but you have to recognise that the map was a mistake and the filmmakers have come out and said that much. I'm as annoyed as you about that. And it's not, I'll say this, it's not exactly a plot hole, that's a retcon. They're two different things, but it is annoying. but it's the maps. Like if you change the map in Fallen Kingdom back to how it was in Jurassic World, you wouldn't have a problem, because you don't see where the water from the Mosasaur Lagoon connects to. It was originally like the river system that was like massively flooded because of the rains and the shift in the earth because of the volcano. And that's how it was told to me on set when we were on set and we're looking at the concept art and how the story was explained to us. They're like, yeah, the Mosasaur escapes through the waterway channels. And if you look at the original map of Jurassic Park, the rivers exist that go inland to the point where Jurassic World's lagoon is going to be. And I'm talking the map where I think it's the one where they show the I think it's the map on the big computer screen in the original film. So those rivers have existed since the beginning, but for whatever reason, someone behind the scenes messed up and put in the bloomin' wrong map. And that map's like an old map, because I remember seeing that map around the time of Jurassic World's creation. And if you look at the old map from the Jurassic Park 4 by John Bell for the Amanda Silver, Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver script of Jurassic Park 4, you can see that's where the park originally was going to be, was down in the bottom right hand corner. So they used an old map, and I don't know how that happened, and Colin had to come out and apologise. Don't trust the maps, says Titan of Serpents. Yes, and all the maps are wrong. This is the funny thing. Like every single map in every single Jurassic Park movie, game, you name it, every single map is wrong. Like every one. See you later, David. He says, do you like Star Wars movies? I'm not too fussed about Star Wars. He says, bye, I'm going to school. Can you do another live stream in the weekend so I could be more pleased? I can't. I'm gonna every Tuesday at 12 o'clock UK time. That's when I'll be live streaming. I can't do weekends. I'm afraid I'm too busy. I've got work and I've got a baby to look after. I've got a little baba. Clayton says the map in the RV that InGen made doesn't even show Nublar. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, let's talk about these maps. That was another misconception video I wanted to do, but maybe we can talk about it here. And I'll clip this out as well. So in the original film, the map's all wrong because... And Clayton, you might have to help me on this one. Isn't it the... if you follow the way the tour cars go... and the way they're going on the screen and what paddocks they're going past, it's like then it doesn't follow the logic of what things they go past. Like they go past the Dilophosaurus first, then the Triceratops, that what we see in the film, and then they go past the Dilophosaurus, then the T-Rex, then the Triceratops, and then they circle back to the T-Rex. But there's no way they could have circled back. Is that right? If you look at the maps, like it's all wrong. Control room map doesn't match the plot of the movie, and it contradicts the brochure map. Yes, exactly. So there you go. So in summary, because I'm not going to dwell on it, but the maps in the first film, wrong, messed up, don't work. And then the maps in the Lost World, obviously we just mentioned the one in the RV doesn't even show Nublar, even though it should. So that's hilarious. I don't know if the map is wrong in Hammond's office when he shows Malcolm the island, where he's like, oh, the carnivores stick to the interior of the island. I don't know if that shows anything wrong with that. Jurassic Park 3. Does Jurassic Park 3 even have any maps? Can't remember now. I think Jurassic Park 3 changed sauna, didn't it? I think there was some little like islands off to the side or something they added on or something like that. I swear that's what happened. But I don't think there's any. Are there any maps in Jurassic Park 3? I can't remember from memory. Yeah, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Someone pointed out to me, and it might have been Lewis Clayton, that San Juan. There's a San Juan airport in Costa Rica, or San Juan something in Costa Rica. I could be wrong. You might need to look that up. That might not actually be a mistake after all. Actually, I want to keep that up. Now in Jurassic World, the maps are wrong. Because Section 5 moves. So I believe on the... And this is from memory. I believe in the control room, Section 5 is the big section above the restricted area. That's like it says S5 up there. And Section 6 is to the kind of right. And then when Owen points to the map when they're about to go hunt for the Indominus, Sections 5 and 6 have switched on the map. So there is a contradictory moment there too in that movie. That's how that one gets it wrong. And then obviously everyone knows about what's wrong with the map in Fallen Kingdom. Like, that's pretty obvious. But even when you go to like Jurassic Park the game, the map, there's a map of Isla Sorna in Jurassic Park the game that is the one from the book, like the the book version of Sorna in Jurassic Park the game. So that makes no sense. I mean, Clayton says we need a George Lucas special edition for the movies. The thing is, like, the only one I would like to change is the Fallen Kingdom map. I'm not really bothered by the other ones too much, but the one in Fallen Kingdom is so blatant. I think they should release Fallen Kingdom again. You know, when Dominion comes out, release Fallen Kingdom again and fix the map. Fix the map. Like, just fix it. Just change it back. It's just simple. Simple fix. You don't even have to announce it on the Blu-ray, like, or anything, or make a big hubbub about it. Just, you know, just fix it and then let people discover it for themselves. And then it would make the, you know, the Blu-rays where it'd be kind of fun because you'd be like, have you got the version with the wrong map on it? It'll become like this this urban legend. So here it says, makes me wonder if even the original novel's map is inaccurate unless the exception to the rule. Yeah. It might be. Katie Ocarina of Time says, I love the novels so much and those comics Clayton reads, they're cool and I didn't see them growing up in Australia. Yeah, I love the Jurassic comics. They're cool. What am we're doing. Ah, that's a good idea. China Services also re-released Jurassic Park about the hand on the raptor. Yes, I would also accept that one. There you go. They're the two. I wouldn't change anything else. I wouldn't change anything else. Just get rid of that hand on the raptor as it enters the kitchen during the whole "Timmy, what is it?" moment, and change the map in Fallen Kingdom back to the one in Jurassic World. And then leave the series as it is. Yo, Amabel. So it's just joined. Hello, welcome. I had so much fun discovering those comic books, says Clayton. It's like a brand new story from the 90s that had been kept secret. Nice. So now I'm going to just round off the edges of this. I know it's because I haven't been on a live stream in a while. I'm doing lots of talking, and that's actually stopping a lot of painting, so I need to concentrate here. So episode 4 of Dino-Defenders is going to take a while to come out. Now I don't want to lie to you guys. It's going to take a while. There's a lot that's going to happen in this episode, and obviously, life for me is very busy. But I want to stick to the original plan for the episode. So I don't want to rush it. I don't want to like skip over stuff to save time. I want to release the episode that I've had in my head for a while. But obviously that does mean you guys are going to have to bear with me, and hopefully these weekly live streams will help, because you'll get to see the progress as it goes. But there's a lot of animation in episode 4, like so much. I've already done a lot. It took me weeks to do one 20-second long moment in this show, and it's still not finished yet. I still need to finish it. But we'll get there. That's why I've got the Patreon, so I can help. That helps with, things. But obviously, if I do meet my Patreon goal, then that means I would be able to leave one of my jobs that I've got and stay at home and then work on it as the job here. But that requires, meeting my goal. That's entirely up to the audience if they want to see that happen. Zahir says, Jack, I'm not sure if anyone else has said this, but it seems pretty clear that Megaraptor might just as well be your mascot creature for Dino-Defenders Extreme. Yeah, the Megaraptor is pretty much the mascot of the series. I've deliberately tried to give that creature a lot of personality. Right, now I need to open up. Let me save this before anything else. I'll save it as platform destroyed edit. Open. It's got to look for a certain frame. Okay, I want this one and this one. So these two things here are from. So I'm going. Let me open up a frame so you guys can see. This is from episode 3. And it's this frame here. So come on, load. So we've got this frame here from episode 3 where you see the hunter, you see Turner falling out, he's like, ah! And you see Hunter riding this down and he does a leap as we see the tower crumble in the background and slam into the ground. It's a pretty epic shot. Came together pretty well. So this platform here is what we're seeing crashed into the here. It's a good point actually. I need to grab the sandy colour. It's got a bit more of a sandy colour than I remember. And I need to grab those. But the background and the tower, so if I get rid of that, I've opened up here. So there's the background, there's the tower. So I'm basically just going to reuse this as the background. Because you're not really going to see it because the tower's going to be in the way. Yeah, that looks about right. And the tower. I might redo the tower because that looks... Yeah, I might actually just get the tower again. I'll get a clear one. So if I go to... I've got an asset folder and then I can find the tower. There's so many images in here. Bear with me, I've got to look for the tower. Where is it? Tower big. There we go. Wait, is that the final tower? Oh, this is where the tower's falling. So as you see, like, you can see how I animate here. So there's tower 1, and then it goes bloom, 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 bloom. They run off to the side, and then boom, that gets hit. And that's not it. Let's just use this one because I have to mess it up anyway. Turn on its side. And you have to make it huge because it was a big tower. I'm going to turn it slightly as well. Okay. What's funny is there's going to be like smoke and God knows what else in this shot, so you're barely going to see this stuff in the background. So the detail, I'm not too fussed about the detail on this being 100% good or in focus. And plus the thing was destroyed, so it's not like it needs to be perfect. We can mess it up, you see. And that's the thing I'm going to have to contend with episodes 4 and 5 is the the destruction of the base. So like I'm going to have to really scrutinize every bit of rubble that I've drawn. If I'm going to repeat a shot, or like not repeat a shot as in like the actual camera move, but repeat like a place, like a location, and I'm showing it from like a different angle, I need to make sure that it does line up with the wreckage from the previous frames that I've used where I've shown that specific location, which is going to be really fun. That dog's at it again. Let's change this track. Let's go right back to the beginning. Yeah, Trixis chat's been quiet for a while. It does that every now and then. I think it's because people are doing stuff around this time of day, but unfortunately this is sort of the only time I can stream. So that's why you'll get me waffling on sometimes, because it's like I'm just trying to fill the air with stuff. And I need to get the lighting right in this scene because there's like a tree still standing behind where this shot is looking. And so I get to play with like the beams of light and stuff. And we're going to zoom in. The shot's going to like creep in to look in on something. speaking of the Megaraptor, what sounds were used for its vocals? Just curious. I actually used these generic dinosaur, like royalty-free dinosaur roars, which you've heard in like almost every single dinosaur movie ever made. But then I took them and changed them, like edited them to make them sound a little bit different in Audacity. So I'd like change the pitch and I'd add echo, and I'd even like do some of the roars myself and then edit my voice and then blend it with that of the dinosaur to give it a unique quality. But yeah, I just found these royalty-free dinosaur roars, and someone did comment under one of the episodes saying, "Lol, listen to the generic sounds." So I don't think I edited them too different, but the thing is, I'm not necessarily looking, because the series isn't how do I put this? Because the series is more like a silent movie. It's like the sounds aren't like, aside from the music, the sounds aren't crucial, but they're just like a bit extra. So I wasn't like looking to have the dinosaurs sound amazingly unique. They just need to give an atmosphere of their presence, if that makes sense. I think that tells the story enough that way. That one ceratopsian you didn't know what it was from the Lost World 1925 is an Athaghumus species that is no longer valid. So basically did what Primal did with the sound effects. Yeah. I mean, it's one thing, it's like, it's very hard to top Jurassic Park sound effects for dinosaurs. And I notice a lot of people, if they try and do their own effects, the sound effects, they end up just kind of quasi-emulating Jurassic. Whereas I found, like, obviously I'm emulating a million other dinosaur movies with these generic sounds, but because they're so generic, like, you won't necessarily notice. And plus I do edit them to make them sound different. So they're generic dinosaur roars, but there's also parts to them that sounds hopefully different enough. How long would it take to have all the characters voiced after episode 5 is out? Let's try. Oh god, I don't know how long that would take. Because that would require finding people to do it, making sure that they're good enough for me to be happy, getting them recorded, and then uploading it. I don't know, getting it all synced up. It'd take a while. It's not impossible though. It's not impossible to do. You maybe have to audition on YouTube, yeah. Yeah, I might do. So here it says, simple enough. I tend to be specific in picking fitting roles for my creatures. For example, I take on media Saramphorhynchus Sohang, I can't even say that. Utilizes a mix of Minecraft's Witherstorm and Simba's 1994 Lion Roars. Nice. I mean, some of the roars, like, I do myself, as I've mentioned. And then I edit my voice. Like, I do the voice acting for the dinosaurs. But like ones like the Dimetrodon is, even though it's not a dinosaur, the Dimetrodon roars are predominantly me scraping a chair along the floor at work. I just dragged this chair along the floor and it made this noise like, and then I just edited that. I was like, actually, I was doing that and I was like, hang on, if I edit that, that'll sound like a dinosaur or sound like a prehistoric creature. And if you know to listen to it, you'll hear it. You'll be able to hear the fact that it's a chair being dragged along a floor. Doing the water. Let's do a pattern overlay. So let's duplicate this again, because this will be its own layer, and then what I'll do is I will give it a ripple effect, and that will actually make it look like water. That's what I did with episode 1. So if you look at the water when they enter this paddock, when they're on the walkways, if you look at the water in the backgrounds, it tends to be rippling very subtly in the background. I do want to change the colour, make it brighter. Excellent. Right, now I'm going to just change the... Oop, what did I just do that for? Let's go look at these guys. Mikkel says, I love your movie commentary videos. I'm looking forward for more. Good and bad movies, all sci-fi possible. You guys make my day. Yeah, we will get back to doing commentaries on movies when I have time. Obviously, it might not be obvious to you, but you know, I've said I've recently just had a baby, so a lot of the content on this channel is going to be a while before it gets back to normal, if ever. But I do plan on doing commentaries still in the future. But again, like the Patreon for Dino-Defenders, you know, is essentially a Patreon for this channel, so... And I've been debating on whether once Dino-Defenders is finished, if I should just change that Patreon to be a Patreon for the channel in general, and see if you know, people are willing to pay to see more content like that, because then I could do commentaries as much as possible and all that sort of stuff. My second is due in January. Looking forward to more videos. Cheers. Oh, congratulations, man, and thank you. Title Surfer says, also I've been noticing a theme with Allosaurus in old dinosaur movies. None of them have the signature head crests. Were the head crests not discovered yet? Most likely, yeah. I could imagine they hadn't found those yet. Well, maybe they had. I don't know. But yeah, Allosaurus was a very prominent dinosaur in old movies. Okay, I'm just going to blur the background. Yo, Cheesy Movie Productions, how we doing? I'm so ready for part 4. Oh man, I hate to break it to everyone. It's going to be a while before you see part 4. Like a long while. But it's on its way. It's on its way. What was I doing? Getting sand. Getting sandy colour, mate. And then just going over this. Yo, Phantom Limb, just joined. That'd be a really good idea, Jack, for your Patreon. I'll definitely join the Patreon. Need to support some of my favourite channels. Great painting, nice so far. Tease for episode 4. Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, Victor, it'll be worth the wait for sure. Oh, I'm going to make sure it's going to be worth the wait. Let's just put it this way. So if you've watched episodes 1, 2 and 3, you know, there's not been much dino action, and I think the dinosaur action in episode 3 is very short-lived. Like if you like the Megaraptor attack sequence is like 1 minute long exactly or something. Like from the moment it bites John's arm to the moment, you know, they're in the bottom of the truck. I think it's like 1 minute. But there's a lot more dinosaur action in episodes 4. I could show you a frame I'm working on right now, which would be pretty crazy. But I don't know. It might be a little bit spoilery. I did post a tease of it on my Instagram, so it is out there publicly. So. What theme is this in the background? Lots of love and support from Brazil, says Victor. It's the Golden Compass PlayStation 2 soundtrack. It's what I usually have on live streams because it's you know, the copyright's good because it's a game soundtrack. Now I need to get the CCTV footage, so all the CCTV. So let's get the cameras. Where are we looking? We want which frame? This one. No, that's not 10.5. Okay, let me have a look. Sorry, I'm just looking for a specific thing. Ah, here we go. Oh, perfect. No, that's not what I want. No, that's not what I want either. Why can't I find the frame I need? Ah, I'll just use this one. I'll just use this one. Wait, that's 11 now. I need... No, there you go. There's a clearer one. I need these. I need to steal these little CCTV cameras. It's short-lived but well-lived. That was amazing. Thank you. Tiny Serpents. I actually believe Guanji, despite being an Allosaurus, is based on Charles L. Knight's T-Rex paintings. Yes, I think he is as well. Mikael says, I think to myself, Brachiosaurus, Brontosaurus, and Diplodocus are the most popular sauropods in movies and pop media. I wish we could see Mamenchisaurus in a movie. They were literally overkill in size. We only see them in The Lost World, don't we, as far as I'm aware, in the second Jurassic Park movie. Okay, so I've been streaming for... Okay, so I've got about an hour left. I think I'll be able to get this background done by then, actually. Got those ones, and then I'm actually going to just cut out this one. I want to have it hanging the opposite way like that, yeah. Yeah, Zion. I was thinking, how many dinosaurs are there in the island? Are you talking about for Dino-Defenders? Are you talking about what I'm working on? Or are you discussing something else? For Dino-Defenders. I'll count them. I always forget. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. However, 2 of those aren't dinosaurs. The Dimetrodon and the Panaeosaurus leopard seal hybrid. What made you choose the creatures that you did? Are they personal favourites or were they chosen by the Patreon, says Victor? So because I haven't revealed all of the ones in the series yet, but the Dimetrodon, even though it's not a dinosaur, is one of my favourite prehistoric creatures. I've always loved that one. they're all just like one. Like Kentrosaurus is one of my favourite dinosaurs, but I really chose them because I was actively trying to avoid dinosaurs that we'd seen a lot. So like I vetoed putting in T-Rex, and I was vetoing putting in things like raptors or anything like that. Like I wanted to go for ones that were like kind of not heard of that much or not used, because I thought it'd be quite interesting. Plus, I'm doing things with the creatures in this series that you might not expect. So like, for example, the Dimetrodon, like if you've seen episode 2, you know that they have a soft drinks logo appear on their backs. And you will see those walking around with those with the logos on their backs again. Like, I wanted to do stuff with the dinosaurs in this series that, you know, you might not expect, like different things, and there's still surprises to come. Obviously, like the Megaraptor doing the backflip or whatever. But some people, I got a comment the other day, someone noticed that there's like a dinosaur list in one of the episodes, and they were like trying to look closer to see what they could see. There's loads of subtle details in the episodes that sort of hint towards what's to come. They all look great, by the way. Thank you, Victor. Phantom Limb says, yeah, Jack, you picked a great selection of dinosaurs. Camarasaurus is one of my favourite sauropods, and I've never seen that in anything. Same with the Dimetrodon and Megaraptor. There you go, all the best. I didn't also... There was the Camarasaurus is like the biggest animal in the series. I didn't want to like have anything too crazily big. I mean, the Camarasaurus in the series is big. In episode 1, you can see how big it is. Like, they are massive, but I didn't want to go too crazy. I also like to think that when the T-Rex hops on the back of the Brachiosaurus, like it's hitching a ride to get away from the volcano. Oh, you're talking about the old Lost World film, yeah. That T-Rex attacking that Brontosaurus or whatever it is. Even though everything has gone south for the characters, I hope that mammal marine reptile is still safe, says Phantom Limb. Oh, you have to wait and see. Now I want to actually change the color of that. Then for these reeds and that bit of wreckage, I actually want to blur those. It's meant to be kind of in the foreground. Victor says, it's a great chance to showcase the unpopular dinosaurs. I like that decision. The Dimetrodon logo reveal was great. It was definitely disturbing to see, and made it even more serious yet believable that people would do things like that. Yeah, it was I just thought it was an interesting idea, and it was actually an idea that Michael Crichton talked about in his book Next. He sort of hinted at that kind of concept, but he never ran with it. Like, he didn't have it happen, or it wasn't a focus of a story. And I thought that's a really interesting idea. So what if there was a story that was focused in on something about like that sort of thing? And I thought that's what will make this different to other dinosaur related stuff. Excuse me, like Jurassic Park. It's like people always talk about the dinosaurs being kind of like a metaphor or an allegory for, commercial, the what was it, unregulated capitalism, that kind of thing. But I was like, well, what if the dinosaurs actually were walking like adverts? Or like, what if the prehistoric creatures were walking adverts? So I just thought that would be a neat thing to do. Any chance of a different type of stegosaurian to appear in Dino-Defenders Extreme? No, the Kentrosaurus is the only one. Zion says, do you think when Dino-Defenders is over you'll make a part 2? I'll have to see how successful part 1 is. I'm definitely open to the idea. But obviously, part 1 is taking a while to do because obviously there's a lot to do and I don't have enough time. If I was to do number 2 or do a sequel, it would have to be I'm getting like I've reached my Patreon goal from day 1, like, and I'm doing it as a job completely. Like, let's say for sake of argument, if I was to reach my goal on Patreon for episode 1 now, I would then be like, okay, I'll consider it, but it would have to be like, I basically have to get paid because I need to stay at home so I could work on it 24/7. Plus, I've got the kid, got my baby, so I want to be here for her. So if I'm here, I mean that helps because I can work. I can tend to the baby straight away, and then when she's asleep or when she's settled and this, that, and the other, like I can continue work. But that also means I could stay at home and work as much as possible on it. But it's funny because like I'm approaching, well, I'm on my way to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube now, and if I mean I know it sounds simple enough, but if like 800 of those subscribers each gave $1 a month to the Patreon, then I've met my goal. But it's convincing people that they're willing to part with that. You don't want to force them to. And it is difficult to convince people of that when, I have my the schedule I do on this channel where, I upload videos when I can. And, you never know when I'm going to upload or when I'm going to go live. That's why I think doing these live streams once a week now at a regular basis at the same time is going to help. At least build up some more content to show that the channel's not gone anywhere or anything. Okay, so now what I need to do, because this is going to be multi-layered, so I can add smoke in various different places. Victor says, I have a feeling that this series will blow up after chapter 5. Hopefully a lot of people get to see this project and help support it. Yeah, I mean, episode 1, 2 and 3 is free is the one that I believe is the one that people is getting people to notice the series more. Episode 1 is doing really well. Episode 1's actually coming up to 10,000 views, so it's slowly building. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 together, that's like the you can watch those 3 episodes and you get to the point where everything's gone wrong, and then you don't know what's going to happen next. So having those 3 out for a while I work on episodes 4 and 5, I think is really going to help build up the audience, because then they get the taste of like, oh, I want to see more, because I've just seen everything go to pot. Oh, bugger. Messed that up right at the last second. Maybe if I go that way first. Ah, what am I doing? Oh my god. No, I don't want the lasso. Come on. There we go, right. So let's do this carefully. But I will say this about episode 4. Episode 4 is going to have... Episode 4 is going to be the episode that has the most dinosaurs in it. And it's also going to be the episode... Oh my god, I can't wait. It's like there's a lot of dinosaur action in this episode. And that's the problem. That's why it's also going to take long to do, because I like to fully animate the dinosaurs. So it's going to take a while to get it finished. But I am determined to show you guys what I see in my head. There's also other big... I said episode 4 is the episode where all of the spoilers are revealed. So every single spoiler that the episodes could hold are in this episode. And then that means episode 5 will be the one where it's just like, the characters have a problem to solve, but like what all the problems are and everything. Phantom Lim says, I just want to say, Jack, I've subscribed to the Patreon. Thank you very much. Thanks for the years of content. No, dude, thank you very much. I'll keep your name anonymous because you like to be known as Phantom Lim. Oh, dude, thank you so much for joining the Patreon. That is insanely cool. Thank you. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Victor says, yeah, the animation in chapter 3 is so smooth. All of the action scenes look amazing. The story was great. My attention. The chaos in chapter 3 was what made me want to subscribe immediately. The Mega Raptor animation was sick. I'll show you. I don't know if you guys have been on my Instagram, but I have a tease on there. And I'm wondering if I can show you the tease on here in better quality. Let's have a look. I can. Okay, so here's a tease of episode 4. This isn't the finished frame, by the way. This is not complete. But here you go. I'll give you this as a tease because you just became a Patreon, Phantom. But here you go. Oh, why did it speed up like that? Come on. Play it normally. Why is it sped up like that? What's going on there? Well, that shouldn't be that quick. But anyway. And it's going slow? What is going on here? Is it trying to render? Is that the problem? Oh, I'm just trying to see if it will, if it's just because it's got to load. Okay, it might be just because it had to render the whole thing. No, why is it doing that? That is so weird. Well, you got a tease there. let me reopen that. Why was it doing that? Yeah, I don't know why it's playing like that. Strange. Anyway, I'll... My goodness. What I'll do is I will make this small. I'll try and go through it. So it comes in like this. Smack to the face. Trips the Megaraptor over. Megaraptor gets up. Oh my god. Right, let's try it. I'm going to try and move it along at the speed it should be. So it shouldn't be that quick. So it goes like this. Boom. Megaraptor gets hit. Stands up. And then you see chases it. Grabs it with tail. Flings it. Wrestle move to the ground. And then boom, gets kicked in the face. Now I've finished this shot, but I haven't fully finished it. But this is what I've been working on a lot during my disappearance. I don't know why it's playing it back like that though. That sucks. Why is it? It goes really fast and then it goes really slow. What's the point in that? Maybe I've got too many things open? No. No idea. But anyway, you get the tease there. Anyway, I've shown too much. But that fight's longer than that, so it should be a fun fight. You're not kidding when you say Dino action is going to be ramped up. Oh yes. And that's not even the best of it. That's not even the best. It's really bugging me why that played back like that. Let me just double check. Is that really? Is that how it plays back? No. I wonder if I can. Let me add a display capture. Let me just see. No. Okay, let's see if this works. Can you guys see that? I think you can. Let's see if we can watch this in proper time. So let me. Oh yeah, it should work. I'm watching the stream back. Let me put it bigger. Here we go. So let's see it in proper time. Here we go. Yeah. One more time. One more time. Nice. There we go. There we go. We finally did it. Let me get rid of that. Delete that. Remove. Yes. Alright, back to work, because I've only got half an hour left. If you want to watch that over and over, Phantom Limb, it's I posted a tease of that on my Instagram, so it does loop over and over again. So okay, just trying to think what else I need to do on this. Ooh, this, yes. Thanks for sharing that. No, thank you for becoming a Patreon member. That's insanely cool. I will be posting an update on my Patreon because the people on Patreon tend to get some stuff that other people don't see. So I'll be posting a little tease up on that soon with an update about these live streams. Probably won't be tonight, but it'll be sometime soon. I'll post an update on my Patreon with another little tease from episode 4, exclusive to the Patreon people, and an update so everyone who is a Patreon knows that I'm going to be doing these live streams weekly. Yo, Finnegan, how we doing? So here it says, even taking on spiny Therophorian, this Megaraptor is sure relentless. Oh, this Megaraptor is something special. It's not... I'm trying to make it a character like no other dinosaur character we've seen in anything else. So be prepared. Episode 4 is going to get wacky. Wacky crazy. Where would I be able to share fan art with you, says Titan of Serpents? Send it to my email. I'll post it in the chat. There you go. Send it to that email address. Uh-oh, someone's awake. Don't know if you guys can hear that. And there's a baby afoot. There is a little baba making some noise. I have to say, I really love being a dad. It's the most fun in the world. They are amazing. And it changes your outlook on life. Like, I know everyone says that, but it really does. It changes everything and makes you... makes everything, like... It seems frivolous. And they just become the center of your entire world. Phantom Limb says, I got a friend who recently had a child as well. It's such a cool thing to see. I love people bringing new life into the world. I hate to be sappy. That's not sappy, man. It's what it's all about. I don't think I'd properly looked at this area yet. One thing you can say is that the extra time allotted to you will allow even more refinements as time goes on. The wait will fly by before we all know it. Yeah, I mean, if I had to hazard a guess, and this might come as a shock, but if I have to hazard a guess as when episode 4 might be ready to be released, because obviously you got to remember I've got to have it scored and everything once I've finished animating. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say probably around the same time as Dominion. At the current rate of patronage. That's perfect. But yeah, it would be fun, wouldn't it? Because it'd be like Dominion comes out and episode 4 comes out at the same time. And it's like lots of dinosaur action all round. Okay, so we've done that. Now I need to just get a white or a very light blue. And we're going to go around. What's the time? What are we looking at? Oof, not long. Not long. I don't want to do that. Just want to go around the edges of all of this because it's meant to be in water. So I want to make it so it looks like water is at the sides. Any underrated dino films you can recommend that are on streaming, says Phantom Limb. Underrated dinosaur films. Oh, I don't know. Are there many? Do you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I can't really say. I don't. What's that one about the? It's not a dinosaur film, but the one with the plesiosaur, the stop motion film. Creature of Crater Lake, the Crater Lake monster, or whatever it's called. Is that the one? Slim Pickings. Yeah. Yeah, try the Crater Lake monster. I don't know if it's on YouTube at all or anything, if you wanted to see that. Have a look. Yeah, have a look. I don't know if it's online anywhere, but yeah. The Sound of Thunder is a great concept, but the problem with The Sound of Thunder is the film wasn't finished when they released it. Like, honestly, they just ran out of budget or something, or the film got cancelled just before, like, during post-production, but they just released what they'd done of the film so far. So there's, like, shots of the characters walking through this, like, city, this, like, futuristic city, and the CGI is... You can tell it's like what you would get in like a deleted scene extra on a Blu-ray, where like you can tell they haven't finished the effects. Like it's like that. But the concept's pretty cool. It's just a shame that they didn't the film wasn't looked after. That's a film that kind of deserves a remake, that is. I think I'll be watching Bill and Ted Face the Music later on tonight. I think that's tonight's movie we're going to be watching. Either that or maybe Last Crusade. You read that story a few years ago. Yes, Ray Bradbury, isn't it? The one of the legends of science fiction writing. Okay, now this water, I just want to add a gradient overlay over the water. Right, now, let's convert that. Water, call that debris. No, I might actually make some more of these reeds. Phantom Lim says, tough choice. I've already seen Face the Music. If I had to pick between the two, I'd go Last Crusade, but Face the Music was still fun. Well, so we watched Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey earlier this week, so we're making our way through them. I'd never seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I'd seen parts and bits of Bogus Journey, but I'd never watched the film all the way through. And we're just having fun with them, and obviously the new one's out, so we figured we'd watch that. Why is that a layer? Oh, I see. So we'll call this one layer 1. We call this one layer 2. This layer we don't need. This one's BG for background. Okay, so we've got all these layers, and then now we need a new layer. And this is going to be the light source. So what we're going to do is, this is a kind of experimental thing I haven't done before. We're going to just slap a big old green on it, and then we're going to do a gradient overlay. Got this kind of layer like this, and then what we're going to do is get the rubber. Oh no, no, actually. Let's actually change that to... convert that to a smart object. Have you ever played Primal Carnage Extinction before? No, I haven't, Zion. Phantom Limb. It is fun time, kind of blends excellent adventure with bogus journey without spoiling anything. Okay, cool. I need to move on from 3D Paint and just bite the bullet and use Adobe Photoshop. Seems much more robust. It's just a simple program, and this is an outdated version. I've got an updated version on my laptop, which I do some painting with for Dino-Defenders, but it's just fun. I like it. Hang about, what's going on here? That's what I was trying to do. So I have to create a lot of light because this tree has fallen, so there's a lot more light around. And then you're going to see this light all on the... It needs to be a bit bigger. Phantom Limb says, I'm truly not blowing smoke, but the way episode 3 ended was so unexpected. You've got a real knack for cliffhangers. Thank you, man. I just wanted to... So, like, without... Well, I can show you. Let me just quickly show you this. So if I open up... Hopefully this will work. This is episode 1. It's probably not going to play properly. But anyway, the point is, in episode 1, I drew the giant tower, which looks a little bit different there. In episode 1, God, it looks so old now, doesn't it? And when they get out of the helicopter, if you notice, John looks up, and he looks up at the tower. And that's foreshadowing the fact that he's going to fly into it. Because I knew that at some point I'm going to have a helicopter smash into that and tip it over, and that's the thing that's going to smash into the base. So ironically, the big tower that there is their communication, because it's called the petri dish. So they're in this bowl. There's the tower. It's massive. They're in this bowl in the middle, surrounded by mountains and God knows what else. Although the mountains kind of don't line up there. The idea is they need this pole to reach above the mountain so it can actually chat to people, because they're doing secret stuff, so they don't want people to know what they're doing or what they're up to. So they're sort of hidden in this jungle, and this so this communications tower. John looks up at it, sort of foreshadowing that he's going to be his death. And I'll just say this: there's loads of other stuff in episode 1 that hints towards what's going to be happening later in the series. And look at this, these guys, they're standing in the tree that is now fallen. So I need to add in, you can see, you can't really see it, or maybe it'd be off screen. And the tower that falls on them, or is on the back here, is up here, look. So we're now seeing this sort of area from this angle, and you can see how the painting's changed since episode 1. And there's what I was talking about earlier, the water rippling. It's very subtle in the distance. But anyway, yeah. So you get the idea that episode 3's ending was planned for a while, that whole idea of that tower falling. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Just trying to get the lighting right on this now. One more thing I want to try and do. Stupid Dinosaur, hello, says, I don't know why, but for some reason the storm in episode 3 was the most unnerving part of the whole series so far. Yes! And as rightly it should be. I'm glad someone felt that. That's made me really happy. That storm. Yo, Red Hood. He says, he returns! Welcome. Such a great design though, but I love the evolution of the animation per episode. That foreshadowing is dope. I need to rewatch the series. There's so much stuff. Just try and take note of everything you can see. Because I'm yeah. Like I said, episode 4 is pretty much going to reveal everything, but I think you're still going to be pleasantly surprised by stuff in episode 3. And there's a oh God, I can't wait for episode 4 to be out. It's like, or to be finished, I say. There's so much stuff in episode 4 that I'm excited about. Okay, so there's many layers to this because the camera's going to zoom in on a specific area of this, and I need the light to move like this as it zooms in, and I need the smoke to rise from the different layers, and I need the reeds here. Oh no, actually that's not really going to work, is it? No, they're just a different layer. The water needs to ripple, that's it. And yeah, so smoke like that. So yeah, so that's what that lighting is. Filter, I might blur that a bit more. Let's just see what it looks like in a different colour. And then, guys, unfortunately, we've come to the end of the stream. Ooh, discos. Having a rave. Yeah, I think the yellow worked. Oh no, blue gives the sense. Yeah, okay, I kind of like that actually. So if that moves, yeah, that's much better. All right, guys. So we've gone from this. So let me zoom in. We've gone from this painted frame here to this one here in 3 hours, and we got the background done. So I haven't had any characters in or anything like that or any of the effects, but there you go. So that's what we're going to be doing every Tuesday, 12 o'clock UK time. I'm going to come on, do 3 hours of streaming to get backgrounds done like this for episode 4. So there we go. Anyway, guys, Phantom Limb says, thank you very much for giving us a look into your work. Also enjoy these on the level of behind the scenes. You've done a fine job, says Katie. Thank you very much. Thank you, Phantom. And thank you again, Phantom, for becoming a member of the Patreon. Zahir says, before we go, anyone else heard the speculation that Saramphorhynchus might be... No, I'm not even going to say it. There's lots of dinosaur names that I can't even pronounce. Ilya says, just came back from school. It's a cool pic. Yeah, it's fun. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday. But this video will be put up onto the channel, and I will also clip out the bit about the Lost World and the maps for future Jurassic Misconception videos. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed the live stream, and I will see you next week.